Hello everyone and welcome back. Let's continue our discussion on text analysis. So in the previous lecture we have seen the occurrences of tokens or words in our ham and spam classes. And here in the example, in this data frame, you see that the first token 00 appears 0 times in our ham class and it appears 6 times in our spam class. Later on, we'll be calculating the ratio of ham to spam, right? For instance, if we were to calculate the ratio right now, we would have to divide, for instance, 1 by 0, and that will give us a 0 division error, right? And in order to avoid that, since we have 0 in both ham and spam, what we'll do is we'll add some numbers. That way we don't run into a 0 division error. So I'll take this column and then add a certain number to it, and then we'll take the spam column and add the same number. Okay, that way we don't run into a 0 division error. Let's do that. So we have our tokens data frame, and then we'll take the ham column and then add a certain number to it. Let's add 10 to it. Okay, and we'll save it in the same data frame, tokens ham column. Okay, and we'll do the same for our spam column. So we'll take our tokens data frame and we'll index our spam column, and we'll add 10 to our spam column. So tokens.spam plus 10. And you can add any numbers that you like, but make sure to add the same number to both ham and spam classes. Okay, now let's check out our data frame by calling the head method. Okay, now we have 10 added to each of our ham and spam classes. Earlier we have seen the class count method, and that tells us the frequency of each observations in our ham and spam classes. And we saw that we have 3,386 observations in our ham class and 514 observations in our spam class. So what we'll do next is take our ham column and divide it by their appropriate class count observations. That way we'll be converting these numbers into frequencies. Let's do that. So for our ham column, we'll take our hams column, tokens.ham, and divide it by our class count. We have our model, nb model that the method is class count, and we saw that in the result we have two numbers, right? So this is for ham and that's for spam. So we can index it. This is index 0 and 1. So here for our ham message we'll pass index 0. And before I run this, let me import the division function from future, from __ future, since I am using Python 2. If you are using Python 3, it should be fine. So from future, import the division module. Okay, let me run our spam ham token. Okay, and next let's do the same thing to our spam column. We'll convert the occurrences of our spam tokens into frequencies. So we'll index and take the spam column and divide it by the class count of our spam class, nb model that class count. And for our spam class, it will be index 1, right? Now let's check out our data frame by calling the head method. Now we have the frequency of occurrence of each of the words instead of number of observations, right? What we can do next is take the frequency of occurrence for our ham and divide it by the frequency of occurrence for our spam. And that will tell us the ratio of a certain word in ham versus spam. Okay? Let's start by adding a new column. And we'll call that column spam to ham ratio. You can call it whatever you want. So we'll take our data frame and then add a new column. I'll call it spam to ham ratio. And that column will be equal to our ham column. Let me change the name from spam to ham to spam. Okay, so we'll take our ham column and then divide it by the spams column. So tokens dot spam. Okay, let's run it and then check out our data frame by calling the head method. Okay, now we have a new column added, ham to spam ratio. We just took the frequency of occurrence for ham and divided it by the frequency of occurrence for spam. And we have a ham to spam ratio for each of our tokens. Next, we can simply use the sort values method and sort this ham to spam ratio values in ascending or descending order and see which are the most common words in our ham message or spam message. Let's do that. So we have our tokens data frame and then we'll call the sort values method on it and then pass the column that we want to sort, ham to spam ratio, ham to spam ratio, and we'll pass the ascending parameter and then set it to true or false, whichever you like. I'll set it to false and let's check out our data frame. Okay, once we sort it, let me call the head method and then pass 20. So we'll see the first 20 most common ham words. Okay, so we have our word list here, token, and then ham to spam ratio. So this is by descending order, right? So these are the most common words that appear in our ham message. Okay, my, bet, gt, I, it, it, me, he, and so on. Okay, those are the most common ham words. And if you check the reverse, or instead of head, if I call tail, we'll see. So those will be the most common spam words, right? Since the frequency of ham to spam ratio is the lowest, right? So these are the most common ham words as the ratio of ham to spam is the highest. And if you check the end of your data frame, you have this common spam words. For instance, claim, price, www, txt, and so on. If you like, also you can add another column and check the ratio of spam to ham. Let's do that quickly. So we have our tokens data frame and then let's add a spam to ham ratio column and then we'll set that to be equal to our spam column divided by our ham, tokens.ham, and then let's call the sort values method on it and then pass our new column, which is spam to ham ratio, and let's pass the ascending attribute and then set it to false. Okay, and let's call the head method on it and pass 20. This will display the 20 most common spam messages. Okay, spam tokens or words. Let me run this. Okay, so we have claim is the most common spam word, followed by price, and then www, text, tone, UK, and so on. Okay, so these are the most common spam words, and that's what we also got in our previous data frame, right? When we call the tail method, we have claim, price, www, text, tone, UK, mobile, and so on, Nokia, right? So this would be the most common spam words. Okay, as an exercise for you, what you can do is, if you remember, we added 10 to our ham and spam columns so that we don't run into a zero division error. Try out this example by adding a different number to our ham and spam columns. Let's say add 5 or 3 or any number different than 0, or 20 maybe, or 100, and see the difference that you get. Okay, so these are some of the methods that we can use to analyze our text in general and find out the most common ham or spam words. Thank you everyone, and see you at the next lecture.